Hello everybody, welcome back to episode 6 of the Undying Sky, our game that we are running with Symbaroum by Free League Publishing. Now before we get back to the action, I do want to present a trigger warning for today's show, specifically in the last half of this episode. If you've been listening along this far, you know that these games have an element of randomness in them, especially when rolling dice. We, as players at this table, we like to take those blows and those bad rolls with authenticity and roll with the punches. So, without spoiling anything, for some, the end of this episode may be potentially challenging. Without further ado then, let us return to the Undying Sky. The party then. The last we were together, you decided that you were heading back to the Lazy Raven Inn. Because I do believe, Astrid, you had plans to protect it that evening.
Yes, indeed.
All right. You find your way back into that rundown but cozy little nook here in the village. Marita behind the bar, cleaning for cleaning's sake and having very little to do. The place is just as empty as the first time you two entered it. But Astrid, you now take in the sights, a little more sheltered than you were outside. And who might you be?
Oh, right.
Lysander just kind of waves. Hello.
Friend of yours?
This is the Templar.
Oh, I see. Very nice.
With the church, indeed.
Pleasure to meet you. If you lot need anything, you give us a call.
Sure.
I will ensure that we will be safe here tonight.
Oh, I see. You plan to stay?
If you don't mind. You have a place?
We have a room.
Can you fit an ogre?
Look, I'll be honest with you, love. He ain't going upstairs, but he can sleep down here on the floorboards. I can sort something out for you. Just throw a shilling in that jar there.
All right.
Sure.
Astrid offers a shilling.
Where is Trig with us?
Trig is currently busy scanning the room for the most comfortable place to sleep.
Well, I mean, it's a place built of just wooden furniture to all regards, but there is a rug in front of the fireplace. It's all moth-eaten and worn down.
It's what he was looking for.
You won't need to head out to the church tonight, if that is what you do.
Me? Oh, she says as she grabs a few linen wraps and ready to take them upstairs to make beds. I don't go there. Don't really see eye to eye with that priest of ours.
Were you gonna do the magic thing around the house?
Astrid nods.
The magic thing?
It's not really magic.
Well, you piqued my interest, love.
Well, the reason the village takes to the church is because the father of the church has laid protection around it, and I aim to do the same with your inn tonight, if you don't mind.
No, I don't care either way. I don't believe in any of that. But if it brings you some peace of mind, love, you just crack on.
She nods.
How long will this take you?
About an hour, give or take.
Okay, then I'll head down to the river, see if I can find some more herbs.
Try not to get seen too much, I suppose.
I suppose Trig would accompany Lysander. He doesn't really have anything to do, that he wants to sort of prepare for. He's just along for the ride.
Okay, so you guys head on out the door then. So, I'm going to ask you, Astrid, what is your process with this ritual? What's your version of a rite of sanctification? Is that what it's called?
It is called a rite of sanctification, I think. Sanctifying rites, indeed. I suppose some chalk. Some chalk is always good. There's probably some kind of chalkboard.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I imagine I might have some sage on me, something to burn.
If you called for Marita, she might, as she has a kitchen, have some sage for you.
Yeah, that's fair.
What sage? Does it matter how old?
It does not. I don't think it does.
You don't think it does? Fine. I got some of the fresh stuff. I usually dry it.
I don't think Prios minds the
He just likes
the
the
age
smell
of the sage. Yeah.
She pauses as you follow her to the kitchen and she turns and she says, I'll tell you what, love. If you could just get that linen up for me upstairs, I'll get the sage.
She nods.
There's a little time there as you trade in chores for a second.
Yeah, and Astrid is a little slower, and with the slight limp as well. She's a little bit slower today after the happenings in the in the hut.
She comes out eventually. She passes you a handful of dried sage leaves, and you notice that there's this very red coloured dye on her fingertips. And she's just washing off her hands with a towel and some water after she passes them to you.
I'll make note of that. I'll go around the property if you see any of the markings. She shows the piece of chalk. Don't mind them. Leave them on if you can.
Do you need a hand? I mean, to be honest with you, love, it's always just making bread rolls and selling mead here. It could be something interesting.
Well, in that case, why don't you, and Astrid pulls out, I guess, like a little bits of linen and bundles some of the sage up so that it becomes like a little bundle. Just light that up and walk around the house, and I'll start preparations outside. And
I have an idea. I'm going to take your sheet here and I'm going to roll something on your behalf. I'm just going to roll a d20.
what I don't get to know what that's for.
Nope. Not for now, anyway.
Right. All right. Do I roll anything for sanctifying right? I don't think I do.
I don't believe you do, but I do believe you roll a d4 for the corruption, which you have none of right now, which is very nice. You roll a 3. Note it down. Well, you're away then, with Marita behind you holding a stick of sage.
Yeah, I imagine Astrid kind of moves around the building inside and outside and draws like little drawings around, just like behind the rain pipe or on a barrel somewhere, or
so it's more like effigies. You're drawing these effigies.
Yeah, very small like markings around the premises.
It kind of reminds me a little bit of like rogue speak, when you could just put a few symbols in places.
Yeah, and with, like whispering in Latin, like sounding
we love
language.
some Latin.
Yeah.
We love some Latin. Hey, we can have Latin in Symbaroum.
We can have Latin.
I don't mind that.
Call it something.
Sanctifus.
Yeah.
I don't really know any.
Something.
In
No,
nome
we
di
don't.
Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sanctis.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It just sounds so good, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Sounds so good.
exactly.
Well, you head around. She's waving the sage a couple of times. You do catch her just sniffing it and going, "Oh, that's strong."
It really brings me back.
But whilst you're doing that, then Lysander and Trig. Lysander, you are off collecting. Did you say some herbs from the river?
Oh, yeah, he's just, I mean, this one doesn't specify what, so he's just looking for mushrooms and like little herbs and stuff.
You get the feeling that somebody is watching you. This prickling on the back of your neck, this sensation that you two are not alone here. I want you to make me 2 rolls. First of all, do the alchemy check.
Failed it.
And now can you go ahead and make a vigilance check?
That is also a fail.
Trig, go ahead and make a vigilance check for me.
Ooh, I have to make a vigilant check.
Well, you're out there with me, lumbering along. And like he's just like stepping on all the like herbs before Lysander gets a chance to like get at them.
And you fail it as well.
No.
You will fail by -1. It's not enough. You have no luck looking for the herbs. There are footprints in the mud.
Okay, so we're seeing the signs, but not the person.
Yeah, so you can see that someone had been stood behind this tree, watching you just along the riverside.
Pair of binoculars.
They left a smoking cigar in an ashtray.
Do you see that?
Trig will just sort of peer at it for a second. He's not the most observant, but he nods slowly.
Watcher.
Yeah, Watcher is not very observant. He's not very good at watching. We were watched.
Should we go have a look, or should we head back?
Trig is gonna peer in the direction of the man-made hill. Is there any chance of seeing anything moving up there?
I mean, I would say it's probably about 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon now at this point. And you don't, I mean, you'd move through the tree line. It's not a lot of trees. It's like a small thicket of woodland. You could pass through it and look up onto this sprawling slope of. It's kind of like a highland. It's got a lot of long grass and big rustic rocks that make up this man-made hill. It's very, very tall, but you don't see any movement on it.
Trig looks to Lysander and shakes his head.
We should return.
Yeah. Sure, okay. Yeah, there's no reason to go up there if there's a giant abomination monster waiting to eat us.
My thoughts exactly.
And they're gonna head back now. Cut their losses.
Meanwhile, back at the Lazy Raven Inn, you set down what's left of the chalk. And it's around this time that you hear the lumbering, laboured breathing of a large troll and the sloppy, wet footsteps.
Sloppy.
Of Lysander's boots. Sloppy! Melior is somewhere far off today. Perhaps she's out hunting. She always turns up when you need her most. So that's good.
Just a loud whistle and she comes along.
Just burst through a window, smashing it. Yeah. But yeah, your ritual's complete. These guys have done what they can.
So, dinner?
Get some food. It'd be good to say you've eaten for the day. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
You head on into the inn. You don't find Marita for a while. You call maybe out for her or politely wonder where she's gone.
Is there any food cooking at any place inside? Is there a kitchen that
There is a kitchen. Do you just the lumbering troll just work his way into the kitchen?
Yeah, I mean, if there's fish cooking, then he's coming in there.
There's no fish cooking for now, but there's definitely a waft of something coming from the kitchen.
All right, well.
The waft itself, though, it isn't great. It's a sour scent.
Scared.
It's musty.
Oh.
Oh, yes. It's bone marrow.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that's actually not a far off thing to say. Have you guys ever been into a butcher on a hot day?
I worked at like a butcher shop cleaning it.
Ew.
So you know the rank irony smell
it's
I'm talking
disgusting.
about.
It's like sour in a way that you can't really pin down, and it's like
tinny.
It's blood. There's blood and there's.
You can smell blood when you go into the kitchen.
I mean, maybe not completely insane that there might be some blood in the kitchen, but Trig is hungry, so he's gonna go in there.
There is a window looking out to the outside. That's good when windows look out to the outside.
That is convenient. Yeah, that's helpful.
What looks like a sliding pantry door at the back, and you have an oven to your right as you enter. But you can see shelves full of powders and plants, herbs on the windowsill.
He can barely fit in this room. He's like having to bend over quite a lot to fit in. But he's trudging through it, and he's going to open the pantry.
The pantry's locked.
Oh. All right, well, he'll turn around and then yell out to the others,
I can't get the fish.
Well, we're supposed to wait for the lady.
You can always try a little harder.
Why is the paladin tempting me to do crimes?
It's a woman of God right there.
Prios wills it.
All right, well, I'm gonna roll for it.
You're gonna roll for it? Go ahead and make me a strong check.
I'm rolling for the decision of whether to.
Oh, then roll resolute. What do you want? If you fail it, you do it.
If I fail it, I do it.
Okay. You did not fail it.
I did not fail it. Well, okay.
But you're interrupted, actually, because as you go to put your hand on the door and you turn in that, I love to imagine what a battle of an internal will looks like on a troll's face.
Yeah.
You turn and you see Marita standing at the doorway with some older linens wrapped up in her hands. What are you doing in my kitchen? Come on out, you come.
I was looking for you.
And he's just holding on to the pantry door. And, when he gave it that tug to try to open it, he could feel like I could pick this door up.
Oh, yeah.
But
you wouldn't even need to roll anything.
He's decided now that he's not going to risk that sort of attention and becoming even more of an outcast. So he just relents and he follows along out of the kitchen.
She strides past you, gesturing for you to leave before she just double checks that door twice. And then turns around. And what would you like to eat?
Fish.
Yes, fish. And she looks around the kitchen. Fish.
A fish.
And then she goes over to a cupboard and she doesn't find what she's looking for in there. And then eventually she goes to a lower cupboard and goes, there they are. Just looking for my pans. And takes one out, placing it on the stove. I'll be right with you. Let a lady cook.
Sausage.
Very sus.
Emergency meeting called.
We don't have that much more daylight, I don't think. Astrid looks to the side out of a window to check on the sun.
You look out the window. Mm-hmm. You see Seluna and Bartolom coming back.
There they are.
They pause for a second, seeing a symbol above the doorway before she slyly smiles to herself and rolls her eyes. And then you actually, as the door's opening, you actually can hear Seluna saying to Bartolom, and that's what happens when you use proper calligraphy. Do you understand?
Good evening. Astrid is sat sort of sideways on a bench with her bad leg up on a stool or something. A little book, tiny little book in her hands.
Lysander's drying his feet from going through the water.
By the fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, Trig has just sat down on his quote unquote bed by the fireplace.
The hammer, by the way, which I imagine is sat on the floor, with the head first.
Oh, yeah,
pole,
for sure.
the shaft sticking up. You can actually hear the floorboard just slightly start to strain.
Just creep.
This giant hammer resting on it. I can tell you've completed the circle. Interesting work. You don't use lines. Instead, what would you call those symbols?
I don't really have a name for them, but I find that often they work a little better. At least they're more discreet. So
I agree. It's interesting, isn't it? A man that seeks opulence and long lost glory puts the most scrawling spirals and lines around his church, and then someone of a modest background uses discretion. I tend to find ritual craft shows a lot about a person.
I wonder what your ritual craft shows about yours.
A lot of brimstone and fire. Now, I have discovered a few... water, thank you so much. And she goes over and she can see there's some jugs laid out and glasses. Bartolom takes a seat next to Trig in front of the fire, warming his hands. That poor, scrawny man needing to take in every ample bit of heat that he can. And Lysander sits with you as well. And Seluna takes a seat on the table you're at, or the bench you're at. I have some news regarding that circle in the wizard's house.
Is it good news?
I think it complicates things.
Wonderful.
There were some ingredients there that I didn't quite recognize. The blood was copious, as I'm sure you can all remember. But there was a chalk. It was dyed. Very rare to see that. Usually, when a chalk comes in a color like that, a very deep red rouge, it's because it's imbued with the property. It perverses rituals. We haven't seen anything like that since the old days, since the war, 20 years ago. It was a circle of exaltation. What do you know of the Dark Lords, Astrid?
Not much more than the basics.
Exaltation was a dark fleshcraft used by the Dark Lords during the end of their reign. It was used to make people stronger. You take a soul willing or unwilling, and with the correct ritual, it becomes more. It unlocks its potential. It becomes an abomination. Ladis was there. I found evidence that he fought, and I have every reason to believe that Ladis is what is stalking this town.
Are you insinuating that Ladis may have been turned against as well?
I am.
I see.
So someone was watching us from the other side of the river.
It was.
It can't have been an abomination. Astrid, you know this. They don't hold restraint.
Oh no. If they laid their eyes on you.
But a circle of exaltation. That means cultists are at work. I will not believe word or rumor that a Dark Lord lives.
He's not back.
He's not back.
Well, besides the priest, we haven't really met anyone who's been suspicious. Hint, hint. Wink, wink. Trick.
Trick. Suspicious trick.
Nobody's suspicious.
Very well. Oh, are we eating? That smells lovely.
Fish.
What is your plan, Astrid? We have 2 set places now that are protected.
I wish not to force anyone into making them stay here or there, wherever they feel most at home. But I don't really trust the father of the church with whoever is left in town.
Arrogant and insolent man.
I'd rather for people to stay here if they could, but I can't go and entice people to come here, so...
Perhaps I shall.
You would?
Yes.
I'd appreciate that. Besides, it wouldn't be strange for a mage like you to rather stay in a place like this than a church. I don't reckon you felt very much at home.
I will be back as soon as I can be.
Do you not?
And what about the man strung up down the road? If we hear him screaming and shouting, what then?
The man? Oh, that man.
Yes.
Astrid rubs her face for a moment, as if, like, deciding something. But
I can let him go if you want me to.
I don't think in a town like this, with the injuries he's sustained, he would live very long.
So he remains a statement then.
She nods.
Okay.
Unless you decide otherwise, of course, but...
I am not a judge, a jury, or executioner. 3 men accosted you. They tried to kill you.
It seems a little harsh to just leave him there for the monster.
Does it, when the statement could actually fight against the word of Father Agathar? And so no more innocent fathers of children have to die with these stones that don't even work.
We could help him. Maybe he'll help us in return.
I should leave that for you 3 to speak about. I need to go. Bartolom, come on, before it gets dark. And the 2 depart, giving you all a nod and staying out of the matter of life and death and politics.
Trig, you have the deciding vote.
This is a bad idea. Trig is a little bit conflicted. He doesn't really know what to say or do, but he looks between the 2 of them and he says,
I prefer to trust those I work with.
Switzerland.
no, but he makes it pretty clear that he's not a big fan of these church people.
Astrid grits her teeth slightly and looks over at Lysander. Judgment falls harshly.
Well, should we at least go and watch and kill the thing when it appears?
I'm not sure we could kill it without knowing anything about it first. But I think that's not a bad point. Perhaps we could watch somewhere safe.
So the plan is to have this man strung up, used as bait for an abomination, and then just watch him be eaten alive.
I mean, the church has done a way worse thing than that.
I mean, the troll doesn't mind. The troll doesn't have any moral quandary about this.
I love this prospect of a study group afterwards. Like, did you see how its head grew 3 times in size before it ate him? Oh, absolutely.
It's like, you see the unhinged jaw? That was a bit interesting that it does that.
We can make notes on that.
No, but the troll definitely does not have any moral quandaries about this.
If you wish to save the man, I won't stop you. My decision has been made.
I suppose it's fine. I mean, I didn't particularly like him.
There's a squeak of a floorboard as Marita comes out. She fetches the last of the meals and brings them to the table before grabbing a towel and wiping up some glasses from those that were drinking. If that's anything, I think I'll be going upstairs.
Well, thank you.
I hope you rest easy tonight.
Oh, I don't trouble sleeping at night.
Okay. Well, fish.
Fish. He's very fervently enjoying his fish. Big, just hefty, like no utensil, just chunk of fish, just as it's supposed to be.
The afternoon fades into a sunset, and the sunset becomes nighttime. The rain lashing down outside as just another torrential storm begins to move down through the valley. But you're warm here inside the inn. You have a fire burning, and you're sat around the bench, looking out of the window on the lower level.
Well, I'm gonna go watch a man get murdered.
Very well. We could learn a great deal.
We are in relative privacy at the moment, yeah?
See, well, Marita hasn't been around for hours now.
Okay, good. Because as, you know, we're sort of preparing what are we doing? Trig will definitely be, with just his dagger, he's just shaving just the slight stub of horn that is starting to grow back. You know, if nobody stops him, then he's definitely also going to be crawling towards the fireplace, and he'll grab one of the logs and just cauterize
them.
The horn stubs.
Gross.
There is a horrible roar somewhere out in the rain. And it's not the sound of Trig wincing or yammering to the feeling of stubbing out and cauterizing his own horns. There's the sound of growling in the dark.
Where is the man held in comparison to the inn?
Well, I would say he is just outside of the wizard's house. So it's a 5-minute or so walk to get up to there. You've got to get out into the street, and then you've got to take a right at the end before the bridge, and then head on up to the old wizard's house in the dark.
Yeah, that sounds like a terrible idea.
It does, doesn't it?
So, what are we doing?
Well, as you discuss it, you feel that horrible draw, Astrid. That foul grip in the base of your stomach, in the very depth of your solar plexus. When chaos and power is being drawn upon. You even see it in the fire, all three of you, the way that the flames flicker down and they seem to lose their heat and their ferocity. And everything just feels muted and low.
Ugh. I think the fish was bad.
I thought it was quite good.
I think that has nothing to do with the fish.
You start to see the formation of ice over the glass of the window. The fire simpers down to nothing more than a few flickers. And you hear the trudge of something walking outside.
I'll head upstairs and make sure what's her face is safe. And Lysander will grab his staff and head up.
Oh, I start looking out the window, or standing near one of the windows at least.
You see the outline of something. Probably Trig's size, to be fair. But more lumbered forward, more bent in the back. You just see the silhouette of it, stooped over, arms twice the length of anything you've seen before. You see the rippling shape of bulging muscle around the shoulders, around the back. And it seems to stop at the boundary you would expect it to stop at, as it tests the edge of your ritual. And then it puts its foot over it, unharmed. Meanwhile, Lysander, you're heading on upstairs, and you're looking around the rooms for the woman.
Yeah.
It's not difficult to find her, because you follow the whispering. Over and over the same phrases.
Where is this? Is this in a room? Is the door open?
Well, as you move down the hallway, you come to a room at the end that's slightly ajar.
Oh, God. I mean, I'm guessing Lysander will recognize, like, creepy magic when he hears it.
That doesn't sound healthy.
No. My discreet is terrible. I'm never going to sneak in there, so he's just going to burst in and try and whack her with the staff.
Okay, you kick open the door.
Yes.
And I would... the first thing you see is a woman sat around a circle of candles. And she's dressed in an entire black robe, but her hood is down. And you recognize the kind of thin, darkened hair of Marita. Her hands are up around the candles, and that gloomy, horrible feeling seems to be drawing you into the circle. You can't describe it any better than that. You're wanting to get into the circle. You're not compelled, but everything is pulling you here into this place.
Oh dear.
She hasn't seen, well, she will know you're there, but let's just say this, you are going to get your strike. You can go ahead and make me, it would probably be with, I would say advantage, because you're behind her and she's kneeling down and she's not really paying you much attention. You can go ahead and make the attack with a -1.
Yo.
2 is very successful. Now, are you making a lethal attack? Are you making a non-lethal attack?
I mean, he's smacking her with his staff as hard as he can, so it's probably lethal if it's that high.
Okay.
He's not holding any punches here. And he's just running in, like, holding it so he can just give it a good whack like you would with a baseball bat.
You crack her over the head. She goes flying out of the circle and sliding across the ground, her head already bleeding. It's Marita. You can tell from the look in her eyes, her face. This is the woman from downstairs. She grits her teeth at you as she starts to fumble for a dagger in her belt. A dagger that's already covered in blood. At this moment, downstairs, that tentative, controlled step, Astrid, that the abomination or the silhouette of the abomination was making, is gone. Whatever seems of control it seemed to have over itself ends.
Okay.
And rather than moving forward slowly, it begins to break out towards the window.
Astrid is going to grab for her flail, her shield, move like deeper inside the inn.
So shall we say then that's a full round to do that by picking up your shield and flail and moving at the same time? We'll say that's your full round action to get away. Because what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to give everyone an opportunity to do one thing before I put you into initiative order. So she's bracing. That's what you're telling me. So she's like, that's her reaction. Grabs it. Does she say anything as she's doing that?
Trig, get your hammer.
Yeah, Trig is already stood. With the commotion upstairs, he's standing and he's going for his hammer. And if possible, he's gonna want to Bloodbrier's binding.
Okay. Well, I'll say it's a movement to. It is a move. Yeah, it's a movement to get up. You've got your weapon, and then Bloodbrier's binding is free, isn't it?
Free.
I think. Yeah. So go ahead and just keep in mind that that's on. I do believe you get 1 point of temporary corruption because you are now an adept in witchcraft.
That's true. Yeah, I forgot about that.
So go ahead and give yourself 1 point. Now, are you burning up as well, Astrid? I forgot to ask you because that's a free action.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
So are you an adept in theurgy now?
No.
Can you roll me a d4? Yeah.
Ooh, I'm at 6
so you get
at the
3.
moment.
You're at 6. So you're 1 under your threshold of okay.
That's fine. So with the stepping back further into the room, the flames begin to like spread over the chain and onto the spikes of her flail. And with that, her eyes actually darken, and you definitely see like the dark veins on her face and hands.
Sickliness.
And,
it's not a look of
sickliness.
control anymore. It's like a sickliness. Okay. Right. Meliora's not here right now.
No. My most powerful attacker is gone.
I mean, you thwacked that lady pretty hard.
Lysander, you are at the top of the round.
Yeah, he's gonna press the advantage once he's down and just like holding the staff with both hands. He's just gonna like jab the pointy end. Well, it's no pointy end, but the end of it at her.
Club her.
Yeah, just at the face.
You take a -1 to the attack.
With advantage.
But you have advantage.
That is a hit.
Oh!
That's 9 damage.
You crack her across the face. And you kill her.
Wow.
God damn.
Damn.
My man.
You can actually hear the back of her skull fracture as she's getting up on her knees at this point. You jab down, as you say, towards her again, causing her to fumble backward.
I just killed an old lady.
Yeah, and she falls backwards and she strikes the corner of the cabinet and you hear the skull crack.
You don't even know if she was doing bad.
Can you imagine if she was adding to protect?
Yeah.
She decided to do it in a dark robe, sitting in a creepy ritual, and
That is
humming
true.
stuff.
Yeah.
There is a furious roar from somewhere down outside. It smashes through the window that had iced over, and you see a creature that has these very long hands that have tentacles coming off of each of the digits, and you see twisted, mutated flesh coming out of all of its like pockets of skin, and it resembles the shape of a man. It still has the long, wild hair, but its face is all screwed up and noduled and twisted. And Astrid, you are probably the closest as you backed up into the more center of the room. Astrid, I would like you to defend yourself at a -5.
No worries. Also, there's a troll right here too.
There is a troll. There is a troll, but you were at the window, so I'm going to go for you first.
No.
No. Have you considered there is a troll?
Have you considered there is a troll and I'm not at the window?
Okay. The abomination barrels into you, slamming into you, and wrapping one of its big arms around you. And you see these tentacled, long, extended fingers creasing around your body and tightening.
Ew.
Can you please go ahead and make it's a quick test? A quick test -5 again.
Oh, sorry. That
would not have succeeded. But you are now essentially grappled.
Mm-hmm.
So at the moment, its big hand is like, with all its tentacles are wrapped around you. It's lifting you up about 2 meters off the ground in the middle of the inn with the glass all around it and just blasted through the side of the wall. And at the beginning of every turn now, you will take 2 damage unless you can break out with a strong test.
All right.
Okay. Trig, you are next.
Trig is going to come for this thing, but
You could try and say you wanted to pry Astrid loose if you wanted to.
Okay, well, that's interesting. That's actually a really difficult choice, but I'm gonna say, I think I can deal. I think I can deal with this. Trig is not going to rip you free right now, Astrid. I'm sorry. He's been flipping his hammer in his hands, waiting for this creature to come, and he smashes the hammer down into the floorboards, and they, a couple of them just shatter into these large, massive, like wooden splinters, which he is going to try to enchant with Storm Arrow. Resolute. Let's make it happen. Oh,
14 is just enough to be successful.
yeah. So it's a free action on the turn that I cast this, and then every subsequent turn to use one of my 5 splinters. What he's going to do is then after he summons these, or he breaks the floorboards and sort of reanimates them with Storm Arrow, he's going to rush in and try to flank the creature. And as he does so, one of the floorboard pieces flies at it.
And I believe it's an automatic hit, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
And can you roll me the d6 for the damage? I think it's still a d6 unless you've got a better version of it. That does not do any damage to it. It strikes into the back of its leathery skin and sinks in deep, but it doesn't cause it to bleed or howl or scream. It just continues to choke the life out of Astrid.
We know a couple things at least then.
Right. Next up, Astrid.
Astrid growls slowly in pain. It's like,
You're going to make a strong test?
I can't really attack unless I get out.
You can't
right?
do anything unless you get out of this.
I'm gonna try to just like wiggle free, but it's not gonna be good.
You will
Is
make
it
a strong
normal?
test at -5.
No, hell no.
Damn.
It begins to squeeze even tighter, attempting to buckle and crush your armor.
Mm-hmm.
At the top of the initiative, Lysander, you are upstairs right now. I will point out to you, if you want to get down to them, that would be a full round action to move in to engage.
Can you give me a quick description of the room? Like, what's going on with the ritual? Is there anything interesting here?
Looking around the room, you try and take in the most important information from what you can see. It doesn't matter about the double bed there. It doesn't matter about the cabinet she smashed her head on. And you kind of look down at the circle. It's just candles. She's not chanting anymore. And things are a lot more louder downstairs than they were when she was.
Okay. Is there a window here?
There is a window.
He's gonna move over and smash it with his staff, and then he's gonna do a loud whistle.
Okay. That was, I would say your turn. Yeah.
That's fair. And you know why he's doing the whistle.
Yeah. Loud whistle out into
He needs some firepower.
Very well. The creature is going to continue spending... No, actually, I don't want to waste this creature's potential in just crushing you, Astrid. I've changed my mind. It's going to throw you against the wall. It's going to, in its grip, just cast you aside. If you could please go ahead and make a defensive test at, I'm going to say disadvantage on this one because you're being gripped.
-5?
-5 at disadvantage. Oof. Oof. You get thrown against the wall. How much protection did you roll? 2? Mm-hmm. Oof. You take what's left after that protection. You take 8 points of toughness.
Down. I'm down.
So you get crushed into the wall. You're not dead.
Jesus
you start
Christ.
making death saves. The abomination turns and it stands at its full height to look at Trig. And that's all it's going to do.
Right.
Next up is Trig, who is now face to face with it in that tight room. It's tight for you two because you're both like very tall.
Yep. Well, I mean, there's nothing for it. Trig is gonna smack this thing. And hope to hit this thing.
So you need to make this attack at -2.
-2. Going to use my robust for this.
17. It is not enough. Have you got anything else you can do? You could roll an experience point.
No, I'm not going to use my experience point on it. I'll do the free attack from Storm Arrow, I guess.
Can you roll me a d6? It doesn't even hit it. It actually just splinters off the body and then just tumbles away. Okay, no worries. Oh, Kim, you're next. Could you just roll me a death save? So the key here is that I believe you need to roll... I've written it down on the thing. There is... on a 1, the character wakes up prone with some toughness restored. 2 to 10, the character remains on death. 11 to 19, the character moves 1 step closer to death. There's 3 steps. And then on to 20, you immediately die.
Jeez.
I'm dead.
Oh my god.
Do you want to re-roll that?
No, I can't. I don't have experience. So I can't.
Are you kidding me?
And at that,
I'm dead.
is it?
All right. Yeah. That's fine.
That's
don't
it?
worry. We'll roll with it.
Okay. Let's move on. Let's continue.
Jesus, guys.
She rolls a natural 20. She's dead and she has no experience points. Lysander.
Yeah, he's gonna start rushing downstairs.
Yeah. Just tearing off downstairs.
Yeah.
And I would say that's got to be a full round because I said it was before. So you eventually get to the bottom of the stairs and you see Trig and this creature face to face. The abomination is going to smash into Trig as hard as it can with a backwards whip of one of its arms. Trig, you would need to go and defend yourself at a -5. 17. Okay, that is not enough. It strikes you. 5 points of damage manages to get through as you are shunted backwards a few steps, struck very hard. Can you please roll me a d8?
Can roll you a d8.
You suffer 6 points of temporary corruption
Oh my god.
as you are struck, and you feel the darkness of the attack hitting you, and then that gripping sensation just coming over your body.
That hits my threshold.
Just be aware, if your temporary corruption reaches 14, you also immediately turn into an abomination. So I do have to ask you guys what you want to do in this situation. Trig, it's you.
I'm hitting it again.
I'm a bit thrown by that death, so I'm like,
Yeah.
I've got to get my head together here.
Modifier on this is -2 again.
It is a... Hold on a moment. You're robust, aren't you?
I am robust.
It's not a -2. You actually should be rolling it just flat. I just checked it here, the stats. Not just for you, for everyone, but I don't think it would have mattered the last time anyway because you rolled so you rolled like a 17 or a 20.
Okay, I'll roll it flat.
19. Oh my. It's like Raz has picked 3 numbers at the top of the dice this session, and he really wants a 18, 17, and 19. My God. Okay, we need to play a game where rolling high is good. Trig, that's everything you can do.
I mean, I guess I'll Storm Arrow. Just if I don't know if the 6 will do anything, but no, I don't get a 6
4
anyway.
definitely doesn't. How many more of those do you have?
I've used 3 now. I have 2 more.
Okay. All right. Lysander, you see as you come down, you see Astrid's body lying in the rubble against one of the walls, and she's not moving. And you see Trig locked in a duel with this abomination. You're at the stairs.
Yeah.
Melior is not with you yet.
No, he's gonna rush over behind the abomination. And I think he's gonna like go for like a jab at the back of its knee. And was it even modifier or a -2? What are we looking at?
Just a flat roll. That's good. That is a hit. That is 7 points of damage. You hurt it. You strike it.
Wow.
We get a hit for like 1 damage.
Yeah, and you hit it and you crack into the back of its leg. It roars out. It is getting a chance to fight now. And it very much is staying on target. These things aren't smart. It's going to go ahead and make another attack against you, Trig, as it just wails on you. So that is a success. Can you please also... Oh, well, you don't need to roll the armor. You succeeded.
I succeeded.
Trig, you take this step back as it lashes at you, and then it gives you a kind of an opening. Remember, you have advantage now in your attacks because Lysander is now flanking.
Yes, please. Let's actually hit this thing. Firstly, I'm going to get my regen.
Okay, so you restore 2.
I restore 2. Then I'm going to perform another attack with advantage, and it is going to be robust, and no other modifiers.
No other modifiers. It's flat against hit.
Dear Lord.
Why? But why? Why?
rolled
17, 18, 19, and 20. Like, can we roll lower? Okay. I'm afraid that is not enough.
Oh my fucking God.
You slam your hammer towards it, but it just catches the hammer and then knocks you backwards, showing its like visceral teeth. Okay. Lysander, it's very short rounds now.
Yeah. He's just taking like a...
Oh! At the top of the round, bursting through the side of the inn, taking flight, wings spread as it latches onto the shoulder of this abomination, Meliora joins the battle.
Sweet.
And she is going to attack, I assume? She doesn't really do much else.
He just goes for his neck.
He's going to caw.
Hello.
Oh my gosh, okay. She starts scratching in and slashing at the creature. I'm afraid it doesn't seem to do any damage.
Lysander just takes a little slight step back so he can get a bit more momentum on, like another jab. Just going for this creature's back this time.
8.
Nice.
That's enough. Oh my goodness.
Finally.
You just did 10 points of damage.
Yes.
So this one is just this like it's like beating on a sack of meat. You can imagine the pigs that hang up in abattoirs before they're like draining them out. It's just like whacking it as hard as you can, and you can almost feel the flex of the bow staff itself give as you hit it. Carry on like this, and it's going to turn around to you soon. Lysander, there's nothing else you can do, I don't think.
I mean, I could move, but I'm not gonna.
Watch me nat 20 on this next one.
Okay. The creature slings out one of its tentacled long arms and it wraps it around a chair. Grabbing momentum, it strikes it over for the back of your head, Trig, as it attempts to use some of the surrounding against you. Please, can you go ahead and make a defense at -5?
-5. Here we go.
You take 6 points of damage. I've just realized something. We haven't been doing this. What is your toughness threshold?
My toughness threshold is 8.
Okay, so that wasn't enough to knock you on your ass. Can you please roll me a d8?
For God's sake. If I roll max on this, I'm dead. All right.
Please don't.
That's an 8.
In that moment...
You're kidding me.
Trig is dead.
Trig falls to the floor as this black, choking mist is coming out of his mouth. He drops the hammer by his side. Lysander, you see Astrid lying there against the wall. You see Trig choking, struggling, and then his back snaps up, his eyes wide with terror, and he starts to twist and convulse, and his left arm turns backwards as it begins to crack. His leg snaps at the knee as he begins to stand. I'm going to give you an opportunity here to decide what you want to do.
Go down with the team.
TPK.
TPK, let's go.
Let's go.
You guys have rolled so badly this match.
Every time.
Every single roll has been max.
Oh my god. I think Lysander likes Trig and Astrid, but they have only been together for a short time, and I think at this point, seeing that he would also have to deal with Abomination Trig, there's not really any choice but to just whistle for Meliora and just go for the door, just get out.
If you're running for the door, I would like you to make a quick test at... Yeah. Let's do -5. Let's do the attack.
Oh yeah, -5.
Yeah, -5 on everything, guys.
-5 is nothing.
Let's just do the -5 for his attack, as it makes it would be a defense check, not a quick test.
Do I have any kind of with Meliora next to me? Do I have any favor or anything?
No, Meliora's there. She's going to be making her own tests to get away. You roll a natural one, which is the best roll you can possibly get. You swoop down the stairs, you duck under a lashing tentacle which wraps around one of the support pillars in the inn. It pulls backwards, causing the pillar to snap, and you watch as the tavern begins to crumble all around you.
Jesus.
You swoop out. Can you please go ahead and make the same defense test for Meliora at -5? 17. I will say to you this. You're the only thing that gets out of that tavern. As the stairs crack behind you, the walls give way, and this simple wooden tavern comes crashing down.